Justice. That also is a fifth-degree felony. Again, if you're found guilty, you could be incarcerated up to a year, fined up to $2,500 or both. You have a misdemeanor charge in this mix of cases, which alleges the improper handling of a firearm or motor vehicle. That is a fourth-degree misdemeanor. If you're found guilty on that offense, you could be incarcerated up to 30 days, fined up to $250 or both. And then you have a charge of obstructing official business. A second-degree misdemeanor, if you're found guilty on that offense, you could be incarcerated up to 90 days, fined up to $750 or both. You understand the potential penalties here? Now, just a moment ago, I explained the rights and the plea option that you have when you come to court. Do you feel you understand those matters? Is there anything you'd like to have me re-explain at this time? No? Okay. Now, you have two felonies in this mix, so I'm just going to ask you, do you intend to hire an attorney? Do you have the money to do that? Do you think you'd be able to come up with a $25 fine? If I gave you 5 days to do that, would you be able to do it within 5 days? Give you access to a phone, would you be able to get $25 rounded up? Okay. Why that's important is that in the felony matter, I'm required to hold a hearing within 5 to 10 days. If you've not made application for an attorney, on the day of the hearing, if there's no attorney here, and if you haven't posted bond, you're going to end up being returned to the jail. So I want you to have an attorney here so that that hearing can go forward as scheduled, and you'll have the benefit of an attorney's advice. So if you think you're eligible, I would encourage you to spend that money above all other money, because that's going to get an attorney involved in the case, okay? Now I see that this one matter, or two of these matters, are 2013 cases. What is your current mailing address?
1946 First Lane, apartment of 12.
What I'm going to do, with your permission, is put you down for no plea on the felony charge. I'm going to indicate that you're making application for appointed counsel. I'm indicating to the clerk that you have up to 5 days to get your filing fee on deposit. An affidavit is going to be provided to you. I want you to fill that affidavit out front and back side. When you finish, signal one of the staff. We'll finish up with your case and I'll set a bond for you, okay? That's what now see. I'm going to mark you down for no plea at all on the felony. That'll preserve all your options to have a chance to meet with your attorney. And for the same reason, on the two misdemeanor cases, I'll put you down for not guilty pleas again, if that's okay. All right? And that'll keep all your options open. The address we're going to be using is the 1946 Lambros Lane address until you tell us otherwise. If you do change your address, you need to do it in writing at this point. Protect yourself. Now, the 2013 matters.
I was about to go to court on the 8th.
The 8th of this month,
Yeah.
in a different court or here?
Right here.
On what type of charge?
On speeding.
Okay, traffic ticket. Okay. And they didn't issue. There was a warrant outstanding then. They didn't arrest you? No.
I didn't know.
Did they warn you about it?
No.
The other case is a obstructing charge. That's for November. This case is a receiving charge from November. Do you have any record at all, ma'am?
No.
Nothing? So if I release you on your signature, you're going to show up when you need to be here? I just looked through the files. There was no request for mail to be sent to you, so you're correct. It was just a warrant, and you wouldn't necessarily know that there was a warrant unless they actually put it in your hand. And you had that contact with the police officer on the speeding ticket. That's what you told me. So you have a speeding case that's, set to come in front of me Wednesday?
8th on the 8th.
On the 8th? Okay. And that officer didn't say anything to you about an arrest warrant?
No.
How did you get arrested?
I went to Circle K with my boyfriend.
Okay.
Because he asked me if he could have a ride to go purchase a pistol. And on the way back, when I pulled in...
I don't want you to talk about the weapon, but I mean, I just want to understand the context of how you ended up getting arrested. Okay, so you're at Circle K, and then there's a problem at Circle K?
No, I don't know why I was actually pulled over. I was just pulled over.
Okay. Go through them in the order in which they're in front of me. You have a charge of receiving stolen property. This is a fifth-degree felony. If you're found guilty, you could be incarcerated up to a year, fined up to $2,500 or both. You have a charge of receiving stolen property. That is also a fifth-degree felony. In that case, if you're found guilty, you could be incarcerated up to a year, fined up to $2,500 or both. And you have a charge of misuse of credit cards. That is a first-degree misdemeanor. In that case, if you're found guilty, you could be incarcerated up to 6 months, fined up to $1,000 or both.
What was the credit card felony again?
It's a misdemeanor of the first degree. It's charged, it's misuse of a credit card. First-degree misdemeanor, you can be punished up to 6 months in jail, fine up to $1,000 or both on that charge. Okay. And we have a bunch of traffic matters. Let me just go through these in the order in which they're in front of me. I have one from March 13th of 2014. This alleges a charge of driving under suspension. If you're found guilty, you can be incarcerated up to 6 months, fined up to $1,000 or both. A charge of failure to control, that is a minor misdemeanor, not jailable. You can be fined up to $150 if you're found guilty there. You have a charge of driving under suspension from June. This is an OPI suspension, is the allegation. If you're found guilty, there's a minimum of 3 consecutive days you must spend in jail, minimum $250 fine you must pay. The jail can be as much as 6 months. The fine can be as high as $1,000 on that charge. So do you understand that?
Did you say OVI conviction?
The allegation is you were driving under an OPI suspension.
Oh, okay. And that was the no operator's license?
That was a charge of driving under suspension June 6th of 2014. Okay. And we have a charge of reckless operation, same day. That's a minor misdemeanor. If you're found guilty there, you can be fined up to $150. Jail is not possible on that charge of reckless operation. And lastly, we have a charge of driving under suspension from August 3rd. If you're found guilty, you can be incarcerated up to 6 months, fined up to $1,000 or both. There's a charge of fictitious plates, 4th degree misdemeanor. In that case, you can be jailed up to 30 days, fined up to $250 or both. And lastly, we have a charge of no operator's license. That is non-jailable. You can be fined up to $1,000. You can be ordered to complete up to 500 hours of community service or both on that charge. So do you understand?
Yes.
Now, you come here with certain rights, and go over them with you. You have a right to have each of these allegations read. You have a right to understand the charges. You have a right to a trial by jury on jailable matters. You have a right to question witnesses, subpoena witnesses, to require the state to prove the charges beyond a reasonable doubt on every element of the charges. You have a right to not testify. No one can force you should you choose to give testimony or give a statement. That testimony or statement can be used against you. You have a right to be represented by an attorney of your choosing. You have a right to be granted a period of continuance in this matter so that you can talk to an attorney first if that is your desire. Depending on your financial circumstances, you might have a right to have an attorney appointed to represent you at no cost to you other than a $25 filing fee. You have a right to appeal if you're found guilty and to have a reasonable bond set in connection with your matter. Do you understand these rights?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Now, you've been called here today to make your initial appearance in the matter, so you're not going to be asked to answer the charges today, but I'm going to ask you, do you intend to hire an attorney?
My goal was to hire an attorney. The thing is I have a 12-year-old daughter. I just started a new job over at Perkins, assistant cook, and financially, I mean, if I'm able to get back to work, I was on my
Well,
knees.
I can't answer that question for you because it's going to turn on whether or not you're going to be able to post your bond. My concern is that I have to hold a hearing within 5 to 10 days. The last thing I want to have happen is if you haven't posted bond and they bring you over from the county jail and you're sitting in that chair and you've not yet made an application for an attorney and you'd like to have one, then you're going to be delayed. Your case is going to be continued and you're going to be returned to the jail. So my question is it reasonable to assume you'll be able to hire an attorney within the next 5 days? If not, then what I'd like you to do is make application for an appointed attorney. If you're eligible, I can make that appointment and then there'll be an attorney here.
Yeah, I'm not close.
Get that affidavit filled out. I'm going to start filling out your paperwork here, and then we'll talk about the case again in a few minutes, okay? So we'll supply you with that affidavit.
Thank you.
I'll put you down for not guilty pleas on all your misdemeanor charges. We'll schedule everything for one hearing. That way the state and your attorney will have a chance to talk, see if they can work something out, okay? Now, the address that the state of Ohio has provided the court to reach you is 2111 West Prospect Road, Apartment 5.
Correct.
Okay. So you've got a felony of the second degree in this mix, you got a felony 5, so your bond there is going to be $35,000. It'll be a 10% more cash rate bond. And the misdemeanor charge charge of misuse of a credit card, that'll be $2,500, also a 10% or cash surety bond.
And that's on the F5?
That's on the first degree misdemeanor. On the F5 and F2, it's $35,000, 10%. Then on your misdemeanor cases, I'll just do $3,000 bonds, also 10%. And as I said, everything will come up at the same time. Your attorney and the state's attorney will have a chance to talk. We can work it out, then that's great.
So everything's got a percentage bill?
Pardon?
I'm getting per percentage bill on everything basically?
10% on everything. Yeah. And in the felony, you have the option of cash surety, and then misdemeanor receiving, you have the option of cash surety. Everything else is 10% work. Those bonds are 10% work cash surety. Everything else, I get traffic, are straight 10%.
Okay, one quick question. I'm facing the 3 felonies, the F2, the F5, and the...
First.
Oh, I'm facing 2 felonies. Okay, and 1 misdemeanor. You want to be possible trying to clear up maybe some of the traffic? What's your next court appearance?
I have to hold a hearing in your felonies within 5 to 10 days.
Okay,
So you'll be back here quick. Yeah.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Should I stay here?
Yeah, for now, just stay put. But get your affidavit filled out, we'll get that provided to you right now.